In this very lesson, we shall be looking at properties on real numbers. In our previous lesson, we talked about properties of operation on real numbers, and we looked at the commutative property, the associative property, and the distributive property. I believe you can state and explain each one of them. Now, to look at properties on real numbers, let's go through these few activities and then come out with our observation. So looking at this, somebody may ask, why are you doing this? Today we are going down to the kindergarten level. Okay, so looking at this, 1 plus what number will still give you 1. 2 plus what number will still give you 2. 3 plus what number will give you 3. 4 plus what number will give you 4. So let's pick any number from the set of real numbers and then let's denote it with n. So n plus what number will still give you n, where n represents the numbers or the numbers from the set of what? Real numbers, all the numbers. So looking at this, yes, what do you think the number will be? I guess you are saying it is 0. 1 plus 0 will give us what? 1. 2 plus what? 0 will still give us 2. 3 plus 0 will give us what? 3. And then 4 plus 0 will give us what? 4. Therefore, when we pick any number from the set of real numbers and then we add it to that very number, we are still going to get what? That number back. Now, this 0 is called the identity element for addition. The 0 therefore becomes what? The identity element for addition. So we have identity element. Now, the identity element for addition says that any number plus the number 0 will give you back the same number. So if you have to pick any number from the set of real numbers, then let's say n come from the set of real numbers, then n plus 0 is equal to what? N. And therefore 0 becomes the identity element for addition. And 0 is also called the additive element. Additive element. So we have, so whenever they ask you the additive identity for addition is what? It is 0. Or the identity element for addition is what? 0. It says that any number plus 0 will give you back the same number. I believe you understand that and you are following. Now let's move on to the next operation, that is multiplication. Multiplication. So with that one, we are also going to follow the same steps, okay? Or we are going to go through some few activities and then you come out with your observation. So we have these few activities. Let's go through. So we have 1 times box will give you 1, which means that 1 times what number will give you 1. 2 times what number will give you 2. 3 times what number will give you 3. 4 times what number will give you 4. So if you have to pick all the numbers from the real number system and then we call them n, n times what number will give you n, give you n. I believe you are saying that 1 times what? 1 will give you 1. 2 times 1 will give you 2. 3 times 1 will give you 3. 4 times 1 will give you 4. So if we have to pick any number from the set of real numbers, when we multiply it by the number 1, we are still going to get the original number back. So therefore 1, the number 1 becomes the multiplicative identity. So 1 is called multiplicative identity. So, which is called the multiplicative identity or the identity element for multiplication. So, the identity element for multiplication says that any number multiplied by 1 gives back the original number. So, if we are to pick any number from the set of real numbers, when we multiply that number by 1, we are still going to get the original number back. That is the multiplicative identity or the identity element for multiplication. It says that when we pick any number from the set of real numbers, when we multiply it by 1, it gives back the original number. So when I ask you the identity element for addition, you should be able to tell me. The identity element for multiplication, you should be able to tell me. This brings us to the end of today's lesson. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.